everybody, Tyler the Collector here, the very first edition of Collecting My Thoughts with Tyler the Collector. Lately I've been thinking a lot about the Ghostbusters. Now, the Ghostbusters are very important to me as a pop culture guy, fan guy, collecting guy. Ghostbusters were the very first thing I was ever into that I can remember. Now, everyone was into like Tonka trucks and stuff like that growing up, but I remember having Ghostbuster figures, having the set, getting the firehouse, getting Ecto-1, getting all of the all the accessory pieces, like this plane back here, their little vehicles that they had, all the bad guys. There was a million, it seemed to me anyways at the time. You could go to the store and not see the same villain that you'd never see. Like, this was way before you had every episode on DVD or anything like that. You just had to catch it when it was on, and that was, geez, I couldn't even tell you what time it was on. Thank God my mom probably reminded me and let me watch the show. But before we get started on anything like that, I wanted to give a little brief history of Ghostbusters, because it's a movie, it's a cartoon, it's a toy line. So let's dive into that real quick. The original Ghostbusters movie came out in 1984. Now, it caught my eye as a kid growing up in the 80s because it was four dudes, best buddies, kicking ass, taking names in New York City, fighting a giant skyscraper marshmallow man of all things. They had crazy ghost Slimer, all things that would catch my eye as a kid. But the thing that caught my eye mostly, the gear, proton pack, PKE meter. We can't forget about the Ecto-1. I don't even understand why I liked a Hearst, other than they slapped it, turned it completely white, that shiny white finish, the decal on the door, and all the gear. And it didn't make any sense what all that stuff is, but it looks cool as hell. That's why I like that. And I cannot not mention the song. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I can't do the rest, I'll get kicked off YouTube. Sticking with movies, Ghostbusters 2 comes out in 1989. New gear, new villain, same Ghostbusters that we loved from the first one. I love the second movie. Not as much as the first movie, but damn close. So let's jump over to the TV side of things. The Real Ghostbusters. The Real Ghostbusters cartoon ran from 1986 to 1991. Changing several things from the movie. One huge change is Slimer is essentially part of the team. Arguably, Slimer is more popular than any individual Ghostbuster on their own. Let's jump over to the toy line. The Kenner Real Ghostbusters toy line ran from 1987 to 1991, producing hundreds of action figures, dozens of accessories and vehicles. Now I'm talking amazing, amazing toy quality here. Some of the best toys that have ever been produced. But not everything Ghostbusters has always been a home run. Extreme Ghostbusters in 97 was a sequel season to the Real Ghostbusters with a younger crew being mentored by Egon. Did not land well, only one season. And then let's not even talk about 2016. Let's go right into the future. The Hasbro and Kenner Classics that are coming out, and Ghostbusters Afterlife. I cannot wait. So now that we have the total history of the Ghostbusters up into the new movie that's coming out, let me show you what I have in my collection. Now, it's not one of my bigger collections, but I have that's my fire suit from when I was a kid, or flight suit, Ghostbuster uniform, whatever. Got it at JCPenney outlet store. And behind me you can see my Proton Pack in box, Funko Pops. The duffel bag has the sleeping bag that matches. Now that's all real Ghostbuster stuff. I have the firehouse, the plane that I mentioned earlier, some more Funko Pop stuff, tons of Funko Pops. Now, these are more recent additions to the collection. They're from the movie, obviously. Some knick-knack stuff, pencil topper, which is sweet. back here, a little prize mashup between WWE and Ghostbusters, which allowed me, because back in the day, before quarantine, I had a passing resemblance of Kevin Owens. So I popped me a Kevin Owens head off of one of them and made a Tyler the Ghostbuster. Now, I'm in the process of purchasing all the Kenner. I shouldn't say all. I'm not going to go crazy. This is where we got to work things out as a team on collecting my thoughts. Going crazy and collecting every accessory, every secondary, thirdary character in some sense of the real Ghostbusters, it's not going to happen for me. They're too damn expensive, and they just don't mean as much to me as I want the core for and some select few that I remember playing with. All my original ones are buried at my mom's house in storage. One day I'll dig them out, but it seems to be, it's just going to be easier just to grab them off eBay. But good news though, because I was at the store buying the essentials, as only one does now during these pandemic times, and I got an essential PKE meter. So that's where we're going to leave it off on this episode of Collecting My Thoughts. As always, I'm Tyler the Collector, and now I'm Tyler the Ghostbuster.